Hi, I'm Saim and today you're gonna get 10 ideas and tips of photography, and the best part is we are going to use mobile only. So without wasting our time, let's get started right away. So first of all, clean your lenses first with the microfiber cloth before shooting. Number one, I have already talked about this in my first video and I think some people didn't get it, so I'm going to explain it again. So it basically means that adding an element between your camera and your subject before shooting, it creates an depth, it creates a blur effect between your subject, and you have to do this something like this.
I hope a trap boy's your type. Why? Cause I don't have a 9 to 5. Alright, I get that your standards high, but I'm not a random guy, I'm different. Literally. When I write my rhymes, you say you don't like that line, I'll switch it. Calm. You said you don't like my life, you said you don't like my guys, you're tripping.
Moving on to the next tip, which is the second tip, add reflections to your photography. Like use a mobile under your camera like this. Or use a water reflection like this.
She think I'm a G and I don't need love, but I need some fuck affection.
The third tip is an interesting one, which is light painting, and here's how you can do it. Go to a dark room and get some light, and what you have to do is to get your ISO as low as possible, and you have to buck up the shutter speed like 2, 4 and 10 seconds, and you have to move the lights so it creates a light painting effect around your subject. So it's a very interesting tip which you can use to get your pics to the next level. The fourth tip is very essential for portrait photography, which is posing naturally. It creates the mood of your portrait and makes it stand out from others. Number 5th tip, which is never use flashlight even in low light conditions, because it's not worth it. It's a hard light, and always use soft light to brighten up your scenes. Almost everybody watching this video has their camera's aspect ratio wrong, which brings us to the 6th tip, which is not using any other aspect ratio other than 4:3, because it can give you the highest resolution your mobile camera can provide. Other aspect ratios like 16:9 can give you a larger image, but it will cost you some quality, so it's not worth it. Always shoot on 4:3 aspect ratio. Tip number 7, which is using composition rules like rule of thirds, rule of odds, centering, and creating a symmetry in your photos. And you can also use grid lines. You can enable it on your settings, and you can use it for centering, and you can use it for rule of thirds. Number 8, in daylight the auto mode is okay, but in low light the auto mode is trash. That's why you have to use only manual mode in low light conditions. If you ask me why, it's because the auto mode will bump up your ISO, brightening the image, but it will add noise and grains to your images. So instead of using auto mode in low light conditions, keep your ISO as low as possible and play with your shutter speeds. I know that nowadays mobile cameras are having a separate macro lens for macro photography, but they are of way less resolution like 2 or 5 megapixels, and I recommend not using that because of low resolution. So instead of using macro lens, use your 1x zoom lens and get close enough to get that macro photo. So I hope this makes sense, and it will give you the sharpest and contrast picture of your subject. Number 10, so there's a thing called HDR, and you might have heard about it. It basically increases the dynamic range of your camera, so it doesn't overexpose or underexpose any part of your picture. So it's time for the bonus tips for those who stayed until the end of this video. So the bonus tip is watch all of my videos on YouTube. Nah, I'm just kidding. So the bonus tips are: wait for the golden hour. It's around 6 p.m. It's the hour before the sunset. If your mobile has an ultra wide camera, use a mobile upside down and get a low angle picture, and it will give you the best picture you can get from the ultra wide camera. And finally, the last tip of my video is not to use the digital zoom in your camera. It will basically crop your photo, and which will create a very low resolution pictures, until and unless your mobile camera has a telephoto optical zoom lens, which will give you the sharper image than the digital zoom. So guys, that was all of my tips for today. I hope you find something helpful or interesting in this video. If it did, please drop a like in this video and subscribe for more amazing videos like this, and peace out.
start trying to slowly find chinks in your armor and things.